You found the Live Local Marketing Podcast, where business owners share their knowledge about what's working in the market today. No fluff, just their experiences and stories from people who are making it happen. And if authentic, practical marketing resonates with you, be sure to visit livelocalwarmmarketing.com and learn to grow your business on warm marketing referrals. Now, on to the show. Welcome. Thanks for joining us here again today. We are with Live Local Marketing Podcast, and we're with Taryn Schroder. Ma'am, how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling good. How are you doing?
Ready to go. I'm ready. So we're going to do a little introduction, tell everybody who you are, and then we'll go right into the question. Taryn is a brand and website designer who works for service-based founders to fix weak first impressions and make sure their brand actually reflects their expertise. With a background in graphic design, marketing, and over a decade of experience across agency independent work, Taryn helps businesses build credibility, attract better fit clients, stop losing opportunities because of an unclear or outdated branding. And she's based in North Carolina, where it's hopefully nice and sunny today.
It's a little bit cloudy. We're actually expecting a snowstorm, so we'll see. But
yeah, we're going to get some of that too. So you can keep it down there. I'll send it your way. No problem.
Perfect.
I don't want to do it. All right, man. Ready for the questions?
Let's do it.
All right. Talk to us about a time that you had a loss that turned out to be a win.
Yeah. I have been I've been trying to make a conscious effort lately to work only with really aligned clients, because I've gone through the ringer of working with clients that it's a guaranteed paycheck. It's really great. Yeah. But once you start working with them, it just drains your energy. It starts to drain your confidence. You start to question everything. So the loss that I've been turning into wins is when I have to turn away a client. They come to me, they're ready to invest, they're ready to do the thing, but there's just some part of me that's like, ooh, I don't know. It's just a gut reaction. It's not a full-bodied yes. So turning those down has been a big lesson. And it is a loss because it's a loss in guaranteed revenue. But what's also happening is it's saying no to make room for a better yes. And I mean, just last week, I turned down a client. And what happened was the next day I had a previous client reach out. I had done their branding. They were now wanting to do their website, similar timeline as this other lead. And I got to say yes to something that just felt a lot more aligned. So yeah, it's been a lesson, but it's a good one to learn.
Have you ever stopped and reflected on the things that make that unperfect client, like you seeing patterns or anything in the people you're turning down?
Yeah. One of the biggest things is that it doesn't seem like they're ready to release control of their branding. It seems like they're kind of holding it really tight. They have all these ideas that they want to do for their business, which is great. Please come with ideas, but don't hold them so tight to where you're not ready to explore and see what else we can do with your branding.
I've always had, when you're handing it off to somebody else, how do you keep it personalized and authentic? Because when the business owner, easy job of making it authentic, when they pass that baton, how do you keep it authentic?
I ask a ton of questions because I want to get into their head, because it's not the brand that I want to make. It's the brand that they need to have for their business that's going to reflect them. It's that balance too of how do we make a brand that fits really well for you, but doesn't look too much to what you want versus what your customers need to be able to see. So it's a balancing act, and it's a lot of questions, a lot of discovery.
Okay. That's good. That's always my question, because I always how can people know me like I know me? But it's questions, asking, getting into depth. Yeah. So right now in marketing, what is your favorite strategy that you're using that is killing it?
Yeah, I would say blogging is my latest favorite.
Wow.
And I had been doing the short form content thing on Instagram for a while, and that's great. It has its uses, but I kept running into a wall that you can only fit so much into a 30-second to 60-second clip, that you make these blanket statements that don't really apply to everything, nor should they. And I see them on Instagram all the time too from other people. You don't get to explain the nuances, where in blogging, you get a really good long form piece of content where you get to explain different sides of the story. You can bring in examples and talk about client wins and things like that. And yeah, it just gives you a better way to explain an idea more in depth. Not to mention there's SEO components too. And being a web designer, I love that part of it. Is each blog post gives you one more chance to rank for a keyword on Google, which is fantastic. And the more built out your website gets, the more Google sees you as an authority. So all around, I just think blogging is a fantastic tool for marketing. And then you can also take that and repurpose it. So you make one really good long form piece of content and repurpose it then for all your short form content. And it just keeps paying you dividends. So it's been my favorite.
So what are some good examples of short form content from that blog?
So one question I get asked a lot, and that's another thing with blogging, I write them on questions I get asked or things that I see that I want to talk about. I get asked all the time what web platform I design on, and it's for the most part Squarespace. So I wrote an entire blog post on it. So now when people ask me, I can send them to that. I can give them my short little description that say, hey, you want to read more? Here's a blog post on it. I then turn that into a carousel on Instagram. I've turned it into a reel for Instagram. So yeah, it just keeps repeating itself. It's great.
So when you do the carousel, is it like pictures or is it like parts of the actual blog, like word wise? Like what kind of carousel do you make?
I repurposed it. So pictures, or I'll take like
Okay.
a simple idea from it and then just use that to create. Does that make sense? Kind of like
Yes, it does. Yep.
not the entire post, but like a snippet of it.
So it's like a story. Cave drawings. It's like telling a story through
Yeah.
drawings, and then they want to go to the blog to hear the rest of it.
Yep, exactly.
Gotcha. All right, that's
Yeah,
perfect. I'm
exactly.
gonna steal that idea. Definitely
Yeah,
using
do
that
it.
one.
Repurposing,
What?
it's the way to go.
It's the way to go because then you have to create as much content. You have
Exactly.
one. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So in your days right now, currently, so what things do you still handle personally, and what things do you hand off to a team or a VA? A quick break before we get to that next answer, because I know that answer is going to be brilliant, which is why I chose this moment to interrupt. If you love what you're seeing and you want to run your business off of warm marketing and referrals, visit our website, livelocalwarmmarketing.com. It's got valuable resources, office hours, memberships, the book, an array of resources to help you get rid of cold calls, cold leads, door knocking, and run a business you can be proud of through referrals and warm marketing. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, I run my business pretty lean, so I do the majority of it myself. Especially the client side. That's not something I think I will ever be able to give up.
Yeah.
Is being the one that works with the clients, the one doing the creative direction, because that's where I get my energy from. That's what I enjoy doing the most. I've worked with social media managers before, so I've tried handing that off, and it just wasn't something that was giving me the ROI I'd want to see. So that's something I've taken back and do. I've scaled it back what I do for it, but yeah, something I brought back. I do have a production designer that I use from time to time.
Okay.
So say I finish the brand, finish the website, but there are a couple like small tweaks or small things, but I'm already on to the next client. I can
Yeah.
hand it to her and she can kind of take care of that. So the smaller things, the things that don't require like high touch, the high personal side, that's what I'm okay handing off. But I definitely want to retain the actual client work itself.
I'm gonna go back to the blog stuff. That has fascinated
Yeah.
me. So when you do the blog stuff, how much of that do you write? How much of it do you have like AI or other assistants or other programs help you write it?
Yeah, I usually start writing an outline, like kind of give an idea of like, this is what I want to talk about. This is the question I get asked. This is how I would respond to it. And then bring it into AI and help clean it up. Because at the end of the day, I'm a designer. I'm not, this
Mhm.
great copywriter. So it helps me kind of clean up my thoughts, maybe bring analogies in that I hadn't thought
Yeah.
of just to make the idea more tangible. Yeah.
So same with the pictures. I mean, I know you're a designer, but you're not going to sit there and hand draw all the pictures you're using for that carousel. Are you
Mhm.
using some AI and some other programs to help you with those for time's sake?
Not really for my social media. That is more like I have
Yeah.
like a whole library of brand images, or I'll bring in like mock-ups of client projects. And I'll put those in there as my
Oh, okay.
imagery, just to kind of have like a bank of, or another way to even show my portfolio without directly saying this is my work. So
Oh, that's cool. So it's more authentic.
yeah, yep,
All right, that's pretty cool.
yeah.
So when you sit down and you started talking already, and we talked about it a little bit already about authenticity. When you sit down with a client and you start talking about branding, obviously it's important. How do you take out the important parts of their brand to help you with your marketing?
Yeah. It goes back to all the questions I ask when someone
Okay.
signs on with me. I send them this giant questionnaire. It probably takes them an hour, maybe 2 hours to fill out, depending how thorough
Wow.
that they want to be. But I need to get in their head. I need to see how they think about their business. But then I also need to go from the outside perspective. How is somebody who's never experienced them before? What are they thinking and what do they need to know? And then it's my job to kind of marry the two of them. So I'm getting the depth of what they know about their business, but then the clarity that someone with no perspective at all about them needs to see to be able to work with them. So I don't know if that answers your question, but it
That's
really is
good. That's it. That's it.
a lot
All
of,
right. So I'm gonna ask you to pick your favorite child. Of the questions on that form, what is the one that you're like, this is gonna tell me the most about these people, my client, my marketing?
yeah. Um, oh
Pause
gosh,
there.
there's so
It's
many.
good.
That was a good question. There's one that I just have them pick out. I have a list of adjectives
Okay.
just about
Okay.
their business. And I could just have them, I say, you have to limit it to three. What three of this list of probably like 50? because if you ask somebody, pick from this list what they
Cool.
want, they'll pick like 20. And it's like, okay, how
Yeah.
are you like all these things? So it helps them really whittle down. What are these 3 things that I want to be known for or want to be experienced when you interact with my brand? So I find that very valuable.
What part of the business and clients you work with is your absolute favorite? Like when you work with this kind of company, I love these ones. I know I love them all, but this one I just find a little more joy in.
Yeah. It's really just the founder-led business, the person who they are the face of their business. They're the
Got it.
ones that are running everything. Maybe it's because I see myself in them because that's exactly what I'm doing. And I know how much heart and soul they're putting into their business every single day. But being able to work with that person who has just such grit and drive and determination to make their business work, hearing their story, being able to help them
Yeah.
any way I can, it's really fun.
That's awesome. Great answer. All right. So we're going to talk about data. You can either choose website or marketing. It doesn't matter, whatever one you want to roll with. When I
Okay.
use the phrase useful data, what does that mean to you, either website or your marketing?
Yeah. Data, you kind of think the numbers right away, right? You think of the
I do.
analytics and the web traffic, things
Yep.
like that. But when I think of the data that I use the most in my business, it's more of what I hear from the clients. Like, what are they telling me? What are the
Oh,
questions
good.
they're asking me? And it can be on discovery calls. Like, what am I hearing from them? Are their pain points? What am I hearing that even in my offer suite or what I'm
Good.
explaining might be a little confusing to them? Because I can take all that information and then tweak and refine and make sure that I'm making the best content out there, helping them the best, having the clearest offer that I possibly can. So, and then even at the end of the project, I always ask, okay, what went well? What could have been better? And I take that information just to make my business better too. So, yes, I look at the numbers, I look at my web traffic, where traffic is coming from, and make
Yeah.
decisions off of that too. But it really is, what are the clients actually saying? What are they actually experiencing? And how can I use that to tweak my marketing and to make my business stronger?
Do you ever find yourself putting yourself in that client position? I'm sure a lot of the products that you help promote are products you're interested in. So you're like, well, if it was me buying the
Mhm.
whatever, I would want it to look like this. Do you ever find yourself putting yourself in his shoes?
All the time, yes. I
All the
actually
time.
worked with a client, like, toward the end of last year, and I was working on her website, and, like, I think I'm your ideal client, which is the best place to be because I'm like, "Okay, what do I wanna hear? What do I need to know about you? How do I make this
Yeah.
clear?" And she was an operations consultant that helps, business owners that are experiencing burnout, and I'm like, "That's exactly how I feel right now because 'cause I'm over here running everything. So what's the message I wanna hear about burnout and how you can help alleviate that?" So, honestly, that's the best place to be as a designer is to already be in the shoes of your ideal client.
On the same vein of data, what is the biggest mistake people make with their websites?
Having a very unclear hero section. So, like, that first section
Yeah.
that pops up on your website, it needs to say immediately who the website is for and what
Gotcha.
you're going to do to help them. Because if people can't see themselves immediately there, they're going to be lost. And a lot of the times I see fluffy language of like, oh, I help business owners find clarity. Like, that's not enough. It needs to say how do you do that? Why do you do that? What type of business owner? So that's the number one mistake.
I'm about to go back and look at my website now. Being self-conscious. I don't know. I have to take a
No,
peek.
I'm sure it's great.
Um, let's take a look at your strategies because you've been at this for a while and you're an expert. What strategies don't you do anymore? Like this doesn't work. ROI is not there. Don't
Mhm.
even bother.
Yeah, Instagram, honestly. When I started my
Really?
business, I heard from all the gurus that started their businesses in 2020. They're like, "Get on Instagram, post every day, like you'll be fine." I did that for a year. ROI was not there. Yes, I got some clients. It
Wow.
was not all for waste, but for the amount of effort I was putting in, I was not seeing the results at all. So I don't recommend. I'm still active on Instagram. I post like once a week, but I definitely do not do the every day and volume posting anymore.
So where are you finding your people? I'm curious now. Where are you finding?
Mhm.
You're a website designer, so I'm assuming the website. But what other platforms?
Website helps, and then I also have a lead gen tool that I use that's been really cool. It's called First Impression Scorecard, and you come to my website. The link is there. It's also in my Instagram bio. But all you have to do is put in your name, email, and your website URL, and it will audit your website for you based off of how I would audit your website. I've done a ton of them. I see the same patterns over and over again. So I fed all of this into an AI agent, and it will go in, read your website, tell you what's working, tell you tweaks to make. And that's been a huge lead generator for me too.
So I'm putting my website in there. First, well, once we're done with this conversation, I'm going to hop on there. I'm going to throw mine in
Me
there and see how it goes.
too. Me too.
All right. Sorry. So no more Instagram. Do you do Facebook and TikTok or any of the other necessary evils?
Not really. Like on my lead gen, I run an ad for like $5 a day to the lead magnet, but that's really it. I don't really show up and post consistently on those.
No, somebody. So, but when you have clients, you have to determine where their people are, right? So there's probably times where Instagram makes sense and Facebook. And how do you know when those are the right conversations to have with your clients?
As for what exactly?
Which platform? Yeah, platforms and which platforms to use.
Oh, I don't really advise my clients really on their marketing strategy.
Oh,
I
okay.
yeah, I mean, if they ask questions, I can help them, but usually they kind of
Got it.
figure that piece out themselves. Like they're already active on Instagram or doing their own
Got
thing.
it.
The thing with websites, though, is I do, depending on the business, depending on what it is, I tell them about blogging because I think it's a fantastic tool. It's
Yeah.
something that they can do. But other than that, I don't really see myself as advising on their marketing strategy.
Do you throw videos and stuff too on your website, like YouTube links and stuff like that too, to help with SEO?
I don't, because I haven't done a lot of
Okay.
YouTube videos. But once I'm starting to do more podcast guest appearances like this. So with those, I think that would be something I would absolutely put on to
Okay.
drive that SEO. And for my clients too, like video testimonials are huge. I always, if they can get them, I say that's the best way, best, case study builder out there. So
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
yeah.
Makes sense. All right. So you've been at this for a minute. You went out on your own. How did you have the confidence to go from to self-employed to doing this whole thing yourself? Like what things led to that confidence to take this all on yourself?
Yeah, honestly, it was a jump and pray situation. I I'm a pretty risk averse person. So I had this full-time job. I was making good money. I worked with great people. I didn't have that excitement there. It wasn't there anymore. And
Yeah.
um I had this like burning idea in my mind of like I just want to go on my own at some point. Didn't really have a plan for it. And just one day I was like, okay, let's try it. Worst case, I go find a new job. So gave myself a runway, told myself I'll do it for a year, see what happens. And it's been amazing. So I'm still at it. So the confidence that it really comes from just like doing the thing, getting it done,
Got it.
saying like, these are in the beginning, it was like, I just need a customer in the door, right? I just need a client. So what do I need to do to get that to happen? And I really feel like business is like a snowball effect, right? So you start off with nothing and then you get your first client and it grows a little bit and it rolls a little bit faster down the hill. And that's the experience that I've had. So yeah.
What is one thing you didn't expect?
In business.
Yeah. Opening your own business.
Yeah. You really think like I'm starting a design business. I'm going to be designing all the time. And then you start to realize, oh, I only design like 40% of the time. The other time is spent marketing and doing my bookkeeping and all these other things. So that was kind of a shock to me in some good ways, some bad ways. But yeah, it's been a balance.
So you use the lead magnet and that seems to be working really well. Do you do anything else like networking or do any other things to meet and do other people?
Yeah, I do. I do a couple like local networking things and then a couple
Okay.
like, more national scale too. Like I've gone to a couple mastermind groups where it's a 10 people or so in a room, you're all masterminding about your business. And
Yeah.
because I'm a kind of person too, and this is maybe why Instagram doesn't work for me, is that I really value and thrive on relationship building, where networking you can do that
Oh,
in
gotcha.
person and it's more face to face.
Gotcha.
You can build trust that way. Where like short form content, it's more again the numbers game. So I do enjoy the relationship building aspect too.
Gotcha. With the
Yeah.
designer and how like sleek and how like minimalist your website is, I thought like Instagram would be a natural fit. Like your website is very well designed. I really enjoyed that one. I've seen so many sites that were just over the top and just stuff everywhere, and yours just gets right to the point. It's really nice.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yep. All right. So now we're gonna have a chance for you to talk about your business and how people can get a hold of you and check out the lead magnet like I'm going to after this conversation.
Yes, please do. Well, you can find me on my website, themadewithstudio.com, or over on Instagram at themadewithstudio. And like I said, I still post once a week there, so you'll still see me pop up here and there. But the basic of what I do in my business is I just help businesses show up and make the best first impression possible through their branding and website design. And actually, Stanford University, they did research on websites, and they found that 75% of consumers will judge the credibility of a business based on its design of its website alone. So not reading copy, not looking at the offer, not looking at any case studies that you show, just the design and the aesthetics of a website. So that's my whole goal with my business, is I just want to help business owners that are pouring all of this heart and soul and time into their business and make sure that they're showing up looking the best that they can.
That's wonderful. Be sure you check out your website and her lead magnet. That'll tell you more and gives you some feedback. And check out the website because it's really well done, obviously, because that's what you do. But it is very well done. We appreciate your time and your help today.
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.